welcome Diamond Squad, here with another video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting me. I love having you all being a part of it, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another episode of Diamond Chat. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button right down there so you don't have to ever miss any episodes of Diamond Chat. I'm Nikwa C, your girl, of course the one and only, here to empower you for the journey ahead. Whether you're celibate, abstinent, virgin, or just really interested in the weight and the journey and everything that comes along with it, you can always tune into here, because I'm going to be dropping videos every week giving you tips and tools to help keep you on the right track. If you're thinking about joining it, they'll definitely help you in deciding if this is a journey that you want to do. So I'm here. Let's go ahead and get started with today's chat. First of all, let me say I hope everybody's having a good day, a good week. Everything is going great for you. We're all encouraged and empowered. I wanted to talk a little bit about why. That is one of the common questions that I get asked being on this weight journey, as well as all of the other people that have stood beside me and that are continuing on this weight journey. The common question that we typically get asked is why. And that's something that you have to be prepared for on this weight, because not everyone else is going to get it. And sometimes there's people who do get it, but they just want to know why. And it makes sense. I mean, you should have a reason to why you do the things that you do. Everything that you do, there should be a reasoning of why you do it, and why you have decided to make whatever choice or do whatever it is that you've done. And I know I have connected with other people that would be like, you know what, I really don't know why I chose this journey. And then I've heard from people who have told me, because they are spiritual, their main reason is, well, God told me. That's one of God's, rules, or not rules, but that's one of the things that, God requests and He desires of us. And that's great and that's awesome. If your choice is for spiritual, that's great. But what I always try to encourage and strive the people in my circle, the ones that I'm motivating and encouraging daily, is the spiritual aspect is important. Yes, don't forget the spiritual reason, whether it's for you a spiritual practice or whatever your choice is. Yes, I think that the spiritual side is important, and it's definitely something that you should understand as your why, but there also has to be a bigger and deeper reason as to your why. And the reason why I say this, because I am spiritual, and I know that, of course, that is one of the mandates by God that I follow. But for me, if I'm honest, in the beginning, it wasn't my choice to wait wasn't because of a spiritual walk. Of course, I'm going to share in this video why I decided to wait. But for me, it wasn't just a spiritual thing. For me, the spiritual thing came later. So I always encourage those. Yes, if you're doing it for spiritual reasons, yes, that's great. But I also want you to dig deeper and see why for yourself. Why is your weight important to you? Why are you going to wait outside of just the spiritual reasons? Because sometimes we can use the spiritual thing as a cop-out, kind of like a pass, okay, if I say this shuts it down and that's it. But sometimes, for me at least, I like to dig deeper. I like to intrigue and create very deep conversations. So for me, it may be spiritual, but I'm going to tell you the other reasons why too, because I don't want you to just see me saying, oh, because of spiritual reasons, that it has to be a cop-out or it's just a pass, and then we can change the subject. I think, to me, the reason why people are asking why is because they're wanting to know your true and honest reasoning as to why, and your in-depth as to why, you know, this was your journey, because everybody's way is different, everybody's journey is different, everybody's why is different. So I would say for me, in the beginning, when I first decided I was going to wait to have sex until marriage, I was 16. And I was in a phase in my life where how can I say it? I was in the phase of in this phase of my life where I was really trying to figure out who I am, trying to figure out how does this dating thing relate and play to me, because I didn't really date much when I was a teenager. When I was like 16 or 17, I wasn't really dating, but a lot of my friends were dating at the time. A lot of them were dating and having sex at the time, I should be saying. And you know, they would come back and tell me all of these stories about their sex with different people and things of that, different guys and things of that nature. And I was kind of like, not scared, but I was kind of like, oh, so that's what happened, or oh, that's what happened, oh. And it kind of made me like, be like, okay, I really need to stop for a moment and really think about this and think about it for myself. Because at the time, like I said, I wasn't really dating that much, and all of my friends were dating, and I was kind of like not like I wouldn't say a nerd, but I was, you know, very intellectual. I was really into school and sports and things of that nature, so I really didn't really have time to date. And of course, my friends, they really did have time to date. So when it was starting to become that time where, like I said, I was 16 going on 17, I started thinking about it, and my friends were telling me all of their stories, and for me it was like, oh wow, like, so it's like, is that what's expected? Like, is sex expected? What are the pressures? Like, what are the things that go along with dating? And I was always an individual that marched to the beat of my own drum. I always was very unique, very different. I just really kind of did things on my own terms. So I felt like in that moment, me saying, you know what, I'm just not gonna have sex. You know, I'm gonna date, but I'm not gonna sleep with anybody. I'm gonna stand out. My name is Staniqua. I'm unique for a reason. I'm different. I've been marked and labeled as unique. So let's kind of keep the uniqueness going. And I felt like at the time, everybody else was having sex and I wasn't. So this is a way that I'm gonna stand out. When I date a guy, he's gonna know, okay, yeah, she's different. So in the beginning, that was my why. That was my why. My why was I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like anybody else. You weren't going to put me in a box. You weren't going to categorize me or label me, right? So that was my main reasoning for why. And that stayed my why for a few years. That stayed my why for, I would say, a couple of years. I stuck with that. And that's just what I always told myself, that, you know, I'm unique, I'm different, so take it or leave it. I'm not doing what everybody else does. You either ride the wave or get off, you know. Oh well, that's what it is. So that stayed my why for a really, really, really long time. And that's what I always told my friends, you know, me and my friends would talk about all the time, and that was my why. And they continue to encourage me, like, yes, girl, you got this, do it. Don't let them run game on you. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll tell you and give you all the tea like we have been doing. So that stuck with me. I would say that was my why all the way until I probably turned 18. Then I actually went to private school. So our senior year of high school, they gave us a more in-depth conversation about sex and things of that nature, and how it related to us spiritually, and things of that nature. And for me, that was a really, like, a big eye-opener for me, like, oh, okay, wow, okay. So then I tied that into it. The spiritual side tied in 2 years later, the spiritual side tied in. Not saying that I didn't have a strong spiritual relationship or anything like that before, because I did. I grew up in church. I was raised in church, and all of that. But for me, I just never really thought about it. I felt like it had to be a personal choice that I understood for myself, and understand that, yes, who I am spiritually is also tied into it, but I had to understand it for myself. It's almost like if your parents tell you not to do something, but there's not really any backing or understanding or reasoning as to why they don't want you to do it. Sometimes, we decide to play with the fire and just do whatever they told us not to do. So that's how I felt. I felt like I didn't want to just say my why is because of spiritual, but what else? Why else is it important to me? Why else is saving myself important? Because everything that I do, everything that I am is going to be reflected in my why. So, of course, as time, continually progressed to go on, I continue to stick with my why of, yeah, I'm unique, yeah, I'm awesome, yeah, this is just who I am. And as time went, of course, I started dating. I graduated from high school. I was in college. I started dating guys. Some were good. Some experiences were good. Some experiences were bad. Some experiences were very confidence hurting and like ego boosting, and then there were those ones that really made you like feel good, like yes, this is great, I'm so excited, I'm doing it. And then I had those experiences where it was like, this is horrible, like why are people dating if I'm just gonna get rejected? Like, rejection sucks. But of course I got over it, and I learned from it, and I understand now that rejection is one of the biggest blessings ever. It's so great. It's such a good motivational learning tool, and I'll talk about that in a few videos in a couple of weeks. But as I progressed, the more I started dating, the more that I started spending time with myself to really get to know Nikwa, getting to know me, the more I realized that there's more to my why. There's more depth to my why. And I just realized that, you know what, like I took the time to understand myself and grow and evolve. And one day I just sat back and I looked at myself, like did a little bit of self-reflection, like, you know what? I'm worth the wait. I'm just worth the wait. Why? Because I'm worth it. Why? Because I feel like I have so much value, so much greatness, and so much goodness in me that I'm worth waiting for. And because I understand that I'm worth waiting for, and because I have spent so much time making myself a good investment, I don't want to invest in anything that's going to cause my stock to plummet, if I'm making sense. I felt like I was just, I know that I am just so worth it that I don't deserve to be connected to anyone else who doesn't see the value in me that I see in myself. And the value, and when I say in value, I mean not just, yes, I'm beautiful and I'm wonderful, because you can connect with people and they see the value and the goodness of who you are and that you're worthy, but are they really committed? Are they really committed to the point to where, for me, at least for me, are they committed enough to where they would be willing to have a life covenant with you? Do they see you bigger than just being a hookup? Do they see you bigger than just being a girlfriend? Do they see you as a wife? And that was what I decided. I knew in the moment, like, I'm worth it. Like, I'm worth the wait. Why? Because I'm worth it. Why? Because my future husband is worth it. He's worth getting the best version of me, and I'm worth getting the best version of him, I feel like. So it changes, not necessarily changes, but your why, you may add on to it you know, and that's one of the things that I've constantly learned and evolved over these years, that my why from the beginning, my first reasoning as to why, which I said was because I wanted to be unique. The next phase for me was realizing that I'm worth it. I am worthy of it because I have such a deep and in-depth self-love and self-strength that, you know, I'm just worth it. And I would say right now, I would say my why in this season, I should say, my why right now is because I understand that I'm not just doing this for myself. My why is because I'm helping others, you know, all of you, the ones that are out, you know, looking at my YouTube video, the ones that are on my social media, the ones that I'm mentoring and coaching one-on-one that I see on the weekly or daily basis. You guys are my why now, because I understand that there's a lot of people who didn't grow up understanding what a weight was. There's a lot of people that I've met and I've encountered that didn't want to have sex when they did. They really wanted someone in their ear to kind of like point them in a direction to tell them that it's okay to save themselves. But because they didn't have that, they ended up doing it. And, you know, now they're practicing abstinence and celibacy, which are both amazing and great avenues as well. But that's why, like, my why now is because of community. My why now is because I know that there's there's other people that I'm helping build and create a legacy of purity for, to help them on their journey and encourage them and strengthen them, because they may not have seen anyone do it before, but now they have me, you know. Like, you know, I'm here. Did someone call for a hero? Here I am. So that's my why right now. My why right now is because I want to educate, I want to help spread it, I want to be able to help people walk in their freedom and their truth, and know that they're not strange, or they're not weird, or they're not crazy for deciding to take a pledge of purity, or to walk a path of purity, of staying abstinent, you know, being abstinent, celibate, or rather your aversion, you know, whatever your journey is. I want it to be the one to put my foot down on the ground and be able to say in front of everyone, you know what, hey, I'm Staniqua, I'm a virgin, I'm not having sex until I get married. Now let me give you the tools that I have used to help keep me on this journey and keep me on this right track, because I didn't have anyone to teach me. I learned it by myself. I learned it through life experience. And if I can help educate someone else, then I'm definitely going to do that. If I can help motivate and encourage you and keep you, and especially on the days when you feel like you're on the tipping point, because I know that there's days where this isn't easy, and the older you get, the longer you go. Sometimes it's very challenging and it's very, very strenuous and tough. So if I can help bring some light and bring some clarity to that, I'm gonna do it. That's my job. That's what I'm called to do. So I encourage all of you, if you're on this journey or if you're thinking about it, really think about what your why is, and understand that there's no right or wrong answer. No one can tell you that your why is wrong, because it's your why. Like, it's your reason, it's your choice. So really take the time to really understand and think about, you know, why am I doing this? I understand it may be for this reason or that reason, but really take the self-analysis, the time to really say why. Like, what is my purpose? And understanding that somebody else's why may not be your why, but that doesn't discredit your why as to why. You know, we're all on a unique journey. We all have a different path, so all of our reasonings may be different. Heck, I know a lot of people whose why doesn't match my why. Their why aren't super in depth like how mine are, but you know, their why is still dope. Their why is still amazing, and they're gonna continue to flourish and nurture with it. And one thing I would say is be patient. Sometimes it takes time to find out your why, especially with this my most recent addition to my why. It's been discovered through life and the things that I've been going through and how I've been, evolving and growing. So realize that your why from the beginning, that may not just be your only why. Like I said, my why now is because, one, I'm unique, I'm awesome, I'm gonna stand out. Two, because I feel like I'm worth the wait. I know myself. I love myself enough to know that this isn't an investment that I want to protect, and I understand that not everyone can afford a diamond. Period, point blank. And like I said before, and then my third why is because of community, because of you, people like you who are looking at this video right now. So like I said, I encourage all of you, throughout this week, throughout the month, if you just have to meditate on it, I'm a person that I have to meditate on things sometimes and write it out. But whatever it is, take the time to really make sure that you know what your why is and why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you stand for something, you won't be able to fall for anything. When you understand your why, when somebody says something slick or comes at you slick, because sometimes that happens too, you're able to be like, well, this is why. Period, point blank. Even though I don't have to explain myself to anyone, but because you must know, this is my why, this is why I'm doing it. And not even that, you'll have family members who support you and love you and they care about what you're doing and they may be proud of it and they just really want to know your why. I have family members who totally embrace my weight. They are very proud of it. They are encouraged by it. But a lot of them want to know my why because, in other parts of everyday life when we're not together, they connect with other people and they can share my story so that they can connect other people to me. So, part of the reason why your why is important is that you may be able to network and connect with others so that you can help encourage and motivate them on the journey ahead, or just being able to connect with each other to keep each other encouraged. Because like I said, this journey is one of the greatest journeys that I've been on thus far, and I'm so grateful and I'm so incredibly thankful for it. But there are trying times, and there are times where people will try to discourage you. So, but we're not going to be discouraged. We're going to stay encouraged, and I'm going to continue to empower you for the journey ahead. So we're not going to be doing any of that, because where they do that at? Nowhere. Not in this land, okay? Not in Diamondeir land. So I hope that you all have been empowered. I hope that the rest of this week is so amazing and so great for you. Take the time that you need for you. Encourage each other. Love one another. Be bold, be brave, and spend time with you. Make sure you know your why and continue to shine and continue to glow, because at the end of the day, you're a diamond and no one can ever put any value on you other than what you put on yourself. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.